So if you're having a hard time sleeping, in this video I'm going to share 9 tools that can help you sleep better naturally. And I know firsthand how much it really just sucks when you can't sleep. I was a major insomniac for years, and when I was able to get my sleep back, it was life-changing. It can really turn around a lot of situations in your life when you can actually sleep and function like a human being the next day. Just keep in mind that the things we're going to go over in this video are very easy and simple to implement. You could do most of these things today and figure out which one may help you the most. Just understand that none of these things are really going to correct the underlying cause of your insomnia. Most people that have significant insomnia have it because there's major imbalances or malfunctions going on in the body. But for some people, they're right on the fence of having good sleep or bad sleep. But they're so tired of not getting good sleep that when they wake up a little bit in the night, they get really mad about it. And then they push themselves further into this fight or flight state where it makes it almost impossible for them to get back to sleep and get a good night's rest. So if they can put some of these simple things in their favor, it might be enough to push them over that fence and help them get a good night's sleep. But if you want to understand how to correct the actual underlying cause of significant insomnia, I'll point you to our video on how to fix insomnia for good at the end of this video. For now, let's jump into these really simple steps that you can start implementing now to see if they create any improvement very easily while you do the real work to fix the actual underlying cause. Here we go.
TC Hale is not a doctor and does not claim to be a doctor or licensed in any type of medical field. Don't be an idiot and use anything heard on the show as medical advice. This information should be used for educational purposes only, and you should contact your doctor for any medical advice. Now get off me.
The first tool we want to get out of the way is understanding your body chemistry, what could be going wrong, and getting away from this idea of using a remedy. Things that are popular, like things like melatonin, or people using magnesium to sleep better. And in the other video, I explained why some of these things are such huge mistakes for some people. And even if they do help them sleep, they're still creating some problems down the road. So we want to get away from trying to use something, oh, it helped my friend sleep better, so I'm going to take that. But if the underlying cause of your sleep problems is different from your friend, you can either not see results or you can make your sleep much worse. So we want to look at some simple things that we can do to put a little bit more in our favor, but we want to understand this idea of using some type of remedy is probably not going to be the solution for you. For most people, it's not. The second tool we want to look at is adjusting your light and your environment. There's a lot of studies out there that really give us an idea that this crazy blue blocker sunglasses that so many people use really have the ability to improve sleep for some people. And if you think about it, you know, this life that we live in, it's been around our whole life. We've been watching TV since we were kids at night. And now we got our computers and we got our devices and we got all these crazy lights going into our face. And it seems like it's always been like that. How could that be the problem? It's always been like that. But this time in our existence is such a tiny sliver compared to the eons of human beings that did not have these lights in their face. So how could our bodies have possibly adapted to this situation? Remember that through time, it's always been, you wake up when the sun comes up, and when it goes down, it's time to get ready to go to bed. So these lights have the ability to affect our body chemistry some and affect our ability to sleep. Now, this is usually going to be a problem for people who are on the fence for other reasons. But again, put everything you can in your favor. I'll put a link in the description below to some studies that kind of indicate that this really has the ability to create a lot of improvement for a lot of people. Another thing is that blackout curtains can be very effective. When you can make that room pitch black, that has the ability to trigger the body's time to make some melatonin to help us sleep better. And my other video explains why some people have trouble producing melatonin, but this is another thing that you can put in your favor. And even like, you know, salt lamps or some kind of soft lighting, some kind of dimmer lights, you start to use those towards the evening. There's even evidence that shows like these amber colored lights have the ability to kind of create a soothing atmosphere that just sort of prepares the brain for sleep. Now, some sleep-inducing practices that can be helpful are things like, yoga and stretching, like gentle yoga, not hardcore crazy stuff, but gentle yoga or stretching can kind of help relax muscles and ease stress. before bed. And there's also some like forms of like guided meditation like yoga nidra that's can be particularly helpful in inducing like a deep relaxation state. And people also talk about using like sleep induction mats, which can be like a form of acupressure where they're just like lying on this or maybe standing on it for 10 or 15 minutes before bed. And that has the ability to enhance their ability to sleep. And one trick that we kind of look over a lot is laughter. I'll put a link in the description below that just kind of helps us understand a lot of the benefits that can come from laughter. And they've been telling us for years, laughter is the best medicine. How come we never actually implement that? How come we never listen to that? So maybe if you are going to watch something at night with your blue blocker glasses on and look all kind of funky, maybe you watch something that's funny and see, do I sleep better if I'm hanging out with Ross and Rachel or if I'm terrified in some kind of murder show? Just see what works better for you. Now, some good sleep hygiene habits that can be beneficial are to create some type of consistent sleep schedule, where you're going to bed and you're waking up at the same time every night and every morning. And that can kind of help reinforce your body's natural sleep-wake cycle. Now, if a person has major circadian rhythm issues, it's not going to fix that. But again, these are simple things that we're just trying to put in our favor. Another thing that can be beneficial is cooling down the room. If you can get that temperature down to around like 60 or 67, that's been shown to improve some people's ability to sleep. And we'll put a link to a study below that kind of indicates that. But that's pretty easy to do and worth testing out for yourself. We hear from a lot of people that feel like aromatherapy is the thing that really helps them. And, like lavender essential oils have been shown to have like calming effects. And a person could either use that in like a diffuser or maybe dilute the oil and put it on the skin. That's kind of been shown to reduce anxiety and improve sleep quality for some people. Also, cedar wood and bergamot are both shown to have these like sedative properties that can be diffused as well. So that might be something that is beneficial to you. Now, if a person doesn't feel like they're too cool to do mindful and relaxation techniques, this can be really helpful too, especially like some type of like guided sleep meditation, where you feel kind of silly when you're going to do it. But I just hear from people like, I didn't really want to do that, but I did it and it just kind of really helped me a lot. Another thing that I really like is like gratitude journaling, where you're kind of journaling positive thoughts from the day. Don't put down how you're screaming at your boss and he's such a jerk. That's not going to help you sleep. But if you can put down the things that you're kind of grateful for the day, it can kind of decrease your ability to overthink everything as you're trying to go to sleep. Now, if we're going to look at nutritional things that can help sleep, I really like someone to know where their body chemistry is, like I teach how to look at in the other video about fixing insomnia for good. But there is one step that I feel like can really benefit a very large percentage of people, and that is eating in the evening in a way that will keep your blood sugar on an even keel. Because when you eat it in a way that creates a big sugar spike, that also has the ability to create a big sugar crash. And with that crash, the body's going to kind of stress and freak out and like, I don't have any fuel, get up and go get some food or do something about this. And can really disrupt sleep for a lot of people. So just try to avoid like really high carbohydrate foods or lots of sugars and starch type things in the evening. And maybe you get your carbohydrates from sources like, like half a sweet potato or some butternut squash or yams or sweet potatoes, and see if you can give yourself some carbohydrates that your body might need if you're using carbohydrates in your diet, but not in a way that's going to create this huge spike and crash, and see if that helps you sleep a little bit better. And an important step for some people can be to avoid stimulants like, caffeine and alcohol and things like that. And some people just need to avoid them in the evening, while some people might need to avoid them altogether. I'm not so great with caffeine. It really jacks me up. I can be awake for 3 days if I drink caffeine. It's just not something I usually do. I'm not completely against caffeine, but again, if a person is on the fence and having trouble due to other reasons, putting this in their favor might help them sleep a little bit better. And finally, one great thing to do is to do some kind of sleep tracking tool, like a wearable, like whether it's like an Oura ring or like maybe a Fitbit. And this can just give you ideas about what your sleep patterns are doing. They can show you insights about REM and deep sleep and different waking periods. And the more you can identify by tracking what's going on, the better you can understand what steps you're taking are helping and what might not be. So understanding what's going on and getting some feedback can really be beneficial. So again, these are all very easy to implement things that you could do a lot of these today probably. And you can just start going through and see, do any of these create improvement for you? If you're a person that's just on the fence, one of these things might be enough for you. But again, if you really have significant insomnia issues and there's a significant problem creating this, none of these things that we talked about in this video is going to fix that. They're just not. That's why insomnia is such a frustrating topic, because people hear from their friends, oh, this helped me sleep, and they try it out, and it makes it worse for them. And they're like, man, I'm just broken. I'm never going to be able to sleep. But the reality is, they're just not putting effort towards the actual underlying cause that's creating their insomnia. So if you want to understand that while you're doing these simple things to see if you can create some improvement, if you really want to understand how to fix the actual underlying cause of significant insomnia, jump over right now and check out our video on how to fix insomnia for good. I can't wait to hear about your results.